Let's take a look at part 3 of step 2 on how to quit your job. And we're going to be talking about income. If you're tired of the same and ready to make a change, go ahead and click subscribe and turn on the bell notifications so that you can get the information you need. So this income is the part that we all like to really get to, and we just think that we make more money, we're just going to solve all our problems. But we forget that we don't have to make as much money if we don't have to spend as much either. So go back and watch the other videos if you haven't already. We're walking you through the process of figuring out what it is that you want to do in your life, how to get your expenses down, and then we'll start leading into the money. This is going to set you up for the steps that follow. Now, if you haven't already figured it out, there's about 482 billion ways to make a dollar. So let's try to narrow that down a little bit. The way we look at this is that there's two main big categories, not 482 billion, but two. So within those, that's kind of where the 482 billion lie, but we can break it down to simplify it into two ways to make money. One is active income. That is where you put in time and you get money. You're trading your time for money. The second way is passive income. That's where you have systems that bring you money on a continuous basis.
So if you're new to this, if you've never heard of active or passive income, just think of active income equals me going to work. I go in for 8 hours. I give them 8 hours of my life. I get 8 hours back in the form of my check, basically. And let's say you take your check home and you deposit it and you go on the stock exchange and you go and buy a stock that has a dividend, and a dividend is basically interest on a stock. If you own a stock, it gives you maybe 5% return on your money if you for every share that you own of the stock, and that dividend would be considered passive income. You bought it, and now as long as you hold the stock and as long as the company pays out the dividend, you will have that dividend coming in for the rest of your life. And active income it comes in big chunks. It's the bigger pot, so to speak. And it generally equates to income equals money, like Reese said. And when you stop putting in your time, then the money dries up as well. Passive income, however, is the exact opposite. It comes in and it's in very small chunks, but it comes in continuously over time. And technically, or not technically, but more than likely it's forever. Like theoretically, that's the word I was getting at there. The system is in place to do the work for you. And when it comes to passive income, active income, you are the system. You are the one that is doing the work on the assembly line, doing the accounting at work. When you put your money into a dividend paying stock, or you buy a rental property and you get that rental income every single month, the system is that rent check coming in, that dividend coming in every quarter.
So let's take a look at an example of how this might play out. Let's pretend that you're the Beatles and you're going to play a concert. So this concert, you go and you play out the concert and you get paid $500,000. You put in the time and you played and you get this payment one time. That was active income. You did work and you got paid to do that work. Now, on the other hand, let's say those songs, it's the same songs, are played out in a movie somewhere. And there's a royalty agreement attached with that song that says every time that this movie plays and it's playing this song, then we get $1. So now every time this movie plays somewhere, they're making $1. Whether they're playing or not, they already played it. It's that system built into the royalties that is paying them out on a continuous basis. That is passive income.
Just so we're driving the point home here, you don't have to be a musical artist to get paid active and passive income, obviously. We're really trying to drill home the point of active and passive income here, because for some people listening, this might be a brand new topic that they've never heard of before, mostly the passive part of it, or they've never heard of their paycheck as active income. The point we're trying to make here is that there are two basic ways to earn income, and both of them are very important. They both have basically opposite pros and cons. Most successful job quitters, people that are financially free, have more than one stream of revenue coming in at any given time. And when I was creating this field manual, I looked it up, and Warren Buffett at that time had 92 unique revenue streams. So if you're looking at it, has 92 jobs. Well, that's not exactly what I mean there. He has 92 different income streams coming in. He probably only has one actual job working at Berkshire Hathaway's, but the other 91 income streams that he has coming in are dividend paying stocks. Maybe he has intellectual property where he's getting paid off of that, rental income, all that. The more revenue streams that you have coming in, the easier it is for you to quit your job. Think about it just like this. Let's say you just have a job and that's it. You have one revenue coming in. You either are making 100% of your income or you're making 0% of your income. Now, yeah, you could go down to part-time and you're technically at 50%, but you're either making 100% or you're making 0%. That's basically it for simplicity. Let's say that you had a job and you also owned 9 rental properties. Okay. If you lost your job, what percentage are you down to? You're down to 90% of your income. And this bases off of everything is equal here. So if you lost your job and you only lost 10% of your income, how stressed out would you be about your finances versus the person that went from 100 to 0? This night and day.
So the takeaways that we're looking to take away from this is looking at the active and passive incomes here. So let's just start to brainstorm this to get the juices flowing of what you may actually want to do. So start making a list. There's some lines below in the workbook. If you haven't already, go back and download the manual from our website. The link is in the description. Free download from there so you can follow along. So make a list of the active and passive incomes, and Google can help with this. Don't be afraid to use Google. It doesn't have to be something that you come up with on your own. If you also need help, you can find a mentor or a coach. Joe and I would love to speak with you about it. So we can walk you through, hey, here's some active and passive incomes.
Guys, just to add to this is where you can go down a lot of rabbit trails that are not going to bring you any carrots, so to speak. It's going to be all sticks at the end of that rabbit trail. And what I mean is that in the initial part of this, you coming up with a giant list, that is 100% where you kind of want to go. You want to no filter, splat on a piece of paper, all different types of revenue streams, because you're just trying to get the creative juices flowing, figuring out what's out there, learning, and then we're going to help you kind of filter it down and with the workbook below. But we highly recommend reaching out to a trusted mentor or a coach at this point to, once you've got your splat down of all these 482 billion ways to make a dollar. Once you got all 482 billion wrote down, you're going to need some filtering help. And this is where someone would jump in that knows you and is looking out for your best interest, that would help you kind of filter through it, because you don't want to spend the rest of your life trying to figure out the first step to making that first revenue stream. You also don't want to jump at the first thing and go down a path and create another job. We're not doing that. We already got a job. We already want to get out of it. Let's not create another problem. So just at this point, at this takeaway point, just splat it out on the lines below. And as we go through in the next video, we're going to kind of help you, from the YouTube universe here to basically help you filter it yourself and We will. Our goal is to get you on a path that makes the most sense for you.
So once you get these kind of going, once you get them flowing a little bit, just go and write an I or a B for intrigue or bore. So you can kind of have an idea of, hey, these ones I'm gravitating towards a little bit more. These ones maybe not so much, but feel free to fill out all the lines, because the more you get down on paper, the more creative ideas that you're going to have in this process. You're gonna stop filtering out automatically just ideas that you don't think are possible. Get those down too. Even if you don't think it's possible, write it down. And we're gonna go back and filter these later, but you need to be able to get into that creative space to get all these ideas down. So get them down first, and then go back and write I or B next to them for intrigue or bore, and then we'll continue on to filtering these out.
Reese, just real quickly here, while you were talking there, I realized that some things that you're going to come up with could fit in both categories, because I used to sell insurance, and when I would make a sale with a client, that was my active income that I got money up front for. That was my active sale. And then let's say a year from now, when they renewed their policy or they made their next payment, then that was my passive income on the back end. So some things that you come up with might go on both sides of the of this sheet right here. If you're not sure, write them on both sides.
So to be able to filter this out, click subscribe. Watch out for the next video. Go back and watch the other videos, and you can be smarter today and richer tomorrow.